Deep in the deserts of Peru, a mystery unfolds that challenges our understanding of human history. The enigmatic Tridactyl mummies. Discovered in the early 2000s, these mummies feature 3 elongated fingers and toes, leading to debates about their origins. Are they ancient hominids or something entirely different? Raising questions about the diversity of life that once existed. Adding to the intrigue are the mysterious osmium implants found within the mummies. Researchers have evidence these implants are still functional, hinting at advanced technology. But where did they come from? Earth or beyond? As investigations progress, the mystery of the Tridactyl Peruvian mummies continues to unfold. What truths lie hidden beneath the sands of time? Only further research will reveal the secrets of these extraordinary beings. I am just discovering these strange creatures, so I spoke to Pavel from Tijuana, who has been studying this case since their discovery.
Guess who we have? Pavel. Hi, Pavel. How are you doing, mate?
Hey, Simon. Thank you for having me. How you doing?
Oh, yeah, good. It's been really interesting few weeks, what with big comets coming towards Earth. And the enormous eye-opener for me that we're going to talk about tonight is this Peruvian story. So I never really latched on to the so-called mummies, and I don't think they are mummies. I think they're much more interesting than that from Peru when it first broke. But when you were in the Jesse Michaels film where he traveled to Peru with people that you knew, that you know, and saw these M-class mummies, I went, holy shit, these are human, these are hominoids. But I really am new to this. So, Pavel, when did you first come across these creatures in Peru? How long have you known about them?
Well, I've known about them since 2023.
Oh, yeah.
When the hearings happened in Mexico and Jaime Maussan presented those little ones.
Yeah.
That's when I first heard about the tridactyls. But then I realized that there were many types, and the M types, which is a term that was coined by Professor Stephen Brown from Ohio State University.
Oh, yeah.
He's been on my show a couple of times. He's really cool. You should have him on your show. He's very pro UFO, but that's when I realized that those larger ones were there, like, and they have some characteristics that are eerily and weirdly similar to these gray beings, you know.
Yeah.
And but there was a lot of noise surrounding the case, and there's always been a lot of noise surrounding the case.
Right.
They were first discovered in some tunnel systems between Cusco, Palpa, and Nazca in Peru.
Oh,
and they discovered a bunch of them. And the confusion came because around those sites, there's always this gray robbing culture there. And there's a full industry there that sells these artifacts and bodies, remains of humans, mostly, to the black market. Sure. So that's one of the reasons why this case started being very, very attacked by the media. And then Mr. Jaime Maussan got involved in 2017 or so. Yeah. Because people were not listening to the ones who discovered the bodies in the first place, because they realized that there was something really strange about those, which is the tridactyl features.
Right, the tridactyl meaning 3 fingers and toes, and we've had some conversations offline. You don't really like calling them mummies because they're more desiccated. They're dry. They're not mummified like in Egypt.
Yeah, they used a substance or powder called diatomaceous earth,
Yeah, yeah,
which is
yeah.
what they use to
Right,
preserve them. And
right.
it's like an algae that you can use to preserve anything through time.
Sure.
And these bodies, because a mummy, it doesn't have any insides. They get
That's right.
um yeah, they get mummified and they get the insides out, and that's a
Mm,
mummy. But these are just full on bodies with all of their insides still that are
that's right.
just desiccated.
Right. And also just really help me on this. How old are they? And then how long did I'm really interested in the tridactyl beings because they are just stunning. How old are they and how long do you think they lived? Does anybody know that? Do you know that?
No, there's
Right.
no indication of how long they lived. I do
Uh,
know that the carbon dating
I meant when
on
I don't mean how long did the individual live? How long did, I mean, it's so unusual to have this tridactyl species. If it's if it's a genetic mutation, you'd think it would die out maybe over 4 or 5 generations. There might be other internal problems. But it seems my research, sorry to interrupt, my research is that they, as a tridactyl group of beings, they lived for 800 years. Any is that, have you heard
uh
anything? No.
I'm not sure, because the problem is that the little bodies were carbon dated to about 1,000 years old.
Right.
Then the M types were carbon dated to around 1,700 years old.
Ah.
And then they found a hand that is freakishly long, that is also tridactyl, that is 6,000 plus years old.
Oh, that is very interesting
It's
because
very
the
weird.
very weird because I'm just I'm very much down the camp of, I mean, I don't know because we need the DNA results, of course, and that's a big story. But I mean, if they are a subspecies of human, a hominid human, to last that long, I mean, it'd be staggering if they were if they existed on Earth for over 6,000 years or 5,000 years. Wow.
Yeah, it's really strange. And it coincides with a lot of the lore from
Ah,
the region, because there's a lot
right.
of
I bet.
geoglyphs, petroglyphs, all types of
Yeah,
different drawings and
sure.
markings that depict beings with tridactyl hands and feet.
Ooh.
And this is all over the culture, from the Nazca people to the Aymara people in Bolivia, and some of the cultures in the south, in the Amazonas, in the Amazon, sorry. Um,
Sure.
they also talk about beings. I don't recall the name they call them, but
No.
some of them claim that they're still around. There's people
Oh yeah. Right.
From the Nazca region that have been interviewed, and they say that they have seen some of those still around. I interviewed an Argentinian anthropologist called Celestino Piotti. I interviewed him a couple of times. I think I talked to you about him the last time we spoke.
Yeah.
He's the one who has the future human hypothesis, and he also claims to have seen one in the 90s. But
Wow.
he claims that he saw one of the little ones, which is, for me, those little ones, I'm not
Mm.
sure they're real. uh,
Right.
I get that they're like really old too, so they
Hmm.
seem to be some sort of like a construction, but like a ritualistic construction.
Right. I think we should. It's very easy just to dismiss them as fake. I don't think they're fake. I think they are very, very interesting ritualistic constructions, and we need to understand the culture and the idea why bodies were constructed. Just to they're not just a puppet. They're very, very special. Somebody made them. Some of them, I'm sure, might be reconstructions, but some of the original ones were made for a purpose, and anthropologists really need to study the culture.
Yeah. And there are fakes though. Those were dolls that were
Yeah,
created, that weren't found in that cave. They were just dolls created
yeah,
by
sure.
contemporary people. And those are the ones that the Ministry of Culture of Peru used to discredit the whole case, which was a
Ah,
low blow for the entire
right,
case.
right.
Yeah.
So that's what happened.
Yeah.
To shift and discredit and get, for some reason, Peru didn't want it discussed. Is that right? And so they
Yeah.
started going, "Oh, look at these," and they were like,
And they were very clearly fake. Like
"Yeah,
you do comparisons even just with pictures of the
hmm,
little ones that were constructed but really ancient and the new
uh,
fakes, and it's really easy to tell the difference which is which.
okay,
So yeah,
sure."
it's for whatever reasons they did it. We still don't know the reason, but we may find out.
But Peru are taking these M class and generally their bodies of their country, of their culture, seriously. I mean, they've got
Yeah.
anthropological studies. I mean, those pictures in your film with Jesse, there was obviously being done in proper, forensic laboratories.
Yeah.
In Peru.
Yeah.
Good,
And there's scientists that got involved from all over the place. Like there's a
sure,
Russian scientist, there are American scientists,
yeah,
Canadian scientists,
right,
British scientists, a Mexican, Peruvian, and
sure.
everybody who approaches these bodies and studies them up close. None of them have said these are fake or
No, they're not
or
fake.
they're not fake. And this is something that uh, I really wish it was different from the skeptics and from the debunker community, because whenever somebody like me or you, for example, are trying to investigate something like this,
Sure.
giving it more airtime, they immediately go to you are violating cultural heritage of Peru, therefore you are guilty of that. And it's like, no, dude, I'm just
No.
investigating a case that is really interesting
Yeah.
that needs to be investigated. I'm not taking one side or the other. My mind can be changed if I see new data, just as
Sure.
you.
Yeah. Well, yeah. No, I'm completely open-minded. If somebody said, "Oh, they're all actually from Mars," or I mean, I'd go, "Oh, that's right." I mean, honestly, I think, yeah, open-minded, and I really try hard to counter any comments on YouTube anyway, to have any disrespect for Peruvian culture. I mean, because
Yeah.
they lasted. It's an enormously important whole bunch of cultures in Peru. It's not just one bunch. Does anybody know where they again the M class? Did they know an area of Peru that they came from?
Yes, it's near in the regions of Palpa and Nazca. There's like a
Palpa, right?
tunnel system down there.
Right.
Initially they said it was just a cave, but it's not a cave. It's a tunnel system.
Ooh,
And it's an incredibly large kilometric tunnel system.
right. I didn't mean where the bodies were found. I meant, did anybody know where when they were alive, where in Peru I mean, I can imagine that they lived in some isolated valley somewhere, and they were,
Well, there are many theories of that though, because um and you talked about this in your video, which is
hmm,
I think one of the reasons Dr. Piotti hasn't arrived to this conclusion is because he hasn't looked at what you said here, that before the Younger Dryas period, we
yeah,
don't know what type of diversity there was in terms
right.
of hominids. We don't really know. And I think that may be one of the possibilities. I think this is just a personal opinion that I can change in the future, that these may have been subterranean.
Oh yeah, sure.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. No, that immediately again seeing your and Jesse's film, I immediately remembered working with Stanley Ambrose. And Stanley, by the way, is completely I'm not touching mummies with your barge pole, which is fine because I understand. I mean, he's not actually an anthropologist. I don't really, what his entire focus is bottlenecks. So the idea that humans were more diverse before big events such as volcanoes or tsunamis or comets or whatever crunches down the population of all creatures on Earth, including mammals, animals, everything, down to a small surviving numbers who then re-diversify. But immediately, I remember way back when I worked on the Yellowstone film with him, I went, Stanley, so what was the diversity of us prior to the Toba eruption 17,000 years ago? And he said, I don't know. I went, find out. I mean, is there fossil evidence of giants, of small people? And then, long after I worked on that film, which was back in the 90s, we found these small people in Indonesia on the island of Flores who date prior to the bottleneck. And they are 3, 4 foot tall. So they are a genuine human diversity that doesn't exist today. So I was very interested to know the age of these tridactyls because maybe they were pre-bottleneck, but they're not. They're much. I mean, if they're only 1,000 or like even 6,000 years old, which is pushing it. The last known bottleneck of near extinction, although Stanley hates that term, I just mean bottleneck, was 75,000 years ago, Toba. There hasn't been a global bottleneck wiping out of species on our planet for 75,000 years. So they're not that old. So they're just, but going back to your point, Pavel, they are, we we are surprisingly similar, but we can, as humans, have immense variety because evolution is constant, as you know. I mean, you're the product of your parents, and your parents are the product of their environment, and so we're constantly evolving. It's not something that happened millions of years ago. So it is possible that there was a Tridactyls group of people in Peru.
Yep.
Who knows?
And yeah, it is possible. And I think,
Underground.
I hope, yeah. And I think it's also possible that based on the implants that they had, they had a different type of understanding of technology, I would say.
Right.
Which,
Well, I mean, we all we've seen is the bodies. We need to know where they lived, how long they lived, what was their culture, and then technology. So implants, you mentioned implant words. So who's got these? I mean, which of the mummies have implants, and what do they look like, and where are they?
all of them have implants. The little ones have implants. The big ones, the M types, have implants. One of the M types has one right here in the forehead.
I saw that. Yeah.
There's another one that has in right here in the hand, right here by the wrist. Some of them are copper, some of them are gold, some of them are metal that is the rarest metal on Earth called osmium.
Osmium, yeah, I read that. Yeah.
Which was discovered by this civilization relatively early, like relatively recently, about 100 years ago or something like that.
Right.
A little more than that.
Yeah, right.
But those bodies are carbon dated to 1,000+ years old. So
where did it come from? Right.
Yeah. And that speaks to me, that speaks of a different type of understanding of technology, possibly. There's been, do you know those little machines that can detect a frequency? That they have the little thingy that goes like this when you detect the frequency. They use one of those machines on the implants, and the implants are emitting a pulse.
Oh yeah. Oh well, I was going to say, are the implants obviously, are they just a piece of metal, or do they have technological layers?
They are emitting a pulse.
Okay,
like a signal, sort of,
a signal,
which is really weird. Yeah.
Sure. The whole, great. So is there some specific person who's concentrating on the metal implants?
Yeah, but they're on Jaime Maussan's camp. There's a little problem there that I do think that we need to address, because Jesse was very generous to the whole Jaime Maussan effort. Good. And I do think that there's this paradoxical kind of situation there, because if it wasn't for him, the case wouldn't be as known as it is right now. I
Oh,
probably wouldn't be as interested as I am in the case right now. But Jaime has this reputation within ufology mostly,
right.
and he seems to have this bias to completely say that these are extraterrestrial in nature, and we
Uh,
are just not there yet.
no,
You
we're not
know,
there yet. No.
and that's a problem I think that um, needs to be addressed sooner or later.
It's
And
going to completely pee off the science community.
yeah, and that's what's happening right now. Like
Right.
because Jaime was involved and he has this bias.
Right.
A lot of the more serious scientists don't even want to touch this from a
Right.
distance. You know, it's and now that Jesse got involved,
Right.
Jesse has a lot more street cred. You could say in ufology, he helped move the
Sure.
needle in the case. I think that's progress within the case, but if Jaime continues to be this bias towards
Right.
the bodies, and if he keeps selling them or saying that they are uh, extraterrestrial in nature, that is
Mm,
going to keep affecting the case and is going to maintain
yeah.
this level of stigma in the case. And I
Stigma.
think
Yeah,
that's
exactly. It's going to
not
be
good
harder
for.
and harder for people to oh, maybe they are, this would be amazing, but it's going to alienate quite a lot of people to actually do any science on it.
Yeah,
Yeah, no, we don't know what they are.
yeah,
And I think they're very
exactly.
interesting. Oh, great, fantastic. And so what research is everything's carrying on right now? Lots of people are working on this at present.
There is right now a little hiccup, you could say, that has
Oh,
persisted for a few years. So the Ministry of Culture wasn't giving the case any airtime, any credibility at all. And
right.
then Jaime decided to sue the Peruvian government for $300 million
Hmm.
because they were saying that he was lying and he is convinced that the bodies were real. He's convinced that all of them are real,
Sure.
but he did present a lawsuit, and that
Sure.
pushed the Ministry of Culture to investigate the mummies more seriously. That happened last year, and in September, they took two bodies, one of them that was mutilated and the other one that wasn't, and they ran tests on both of them, and they found that the one that was mutilated was actually a human with 5 toes, but they were sewn off. The other
Uh,
one was the mummy Maria, which is the most famous mummy of
yeah,
them all.
Maria. Right.
And that mummy, they found that in the tridactyl features in both hand and feet, it was everything was morphologically coherent, which means that the tridactyl features were natural; they grew naturally.
Yeah.
And that was the first time the Peruvian Ministry of Culture and the Peruvian government acknowledged officially
Good.
that these bodies were real, and that has helped the case advance a little more. But there's a major disagreement in the DNA test because there are like several groups ran the test from one's DNA sample that was taken a few years ago,
Sure.
and they arrived to different conclusions.
Oh, right.
There's a side that claims that these are hybrid, which
Oh,
is
yeah.
a strange kind of claim, but that's what they say.
Sure.
And there's a side that claims that these are mostly human, but there's something strange in the DNA that they think might be because
Right.
it's so ancient, it gets diluted over time, and
That's right.
it becomes really difficult
It
to
gets
make.
difficult. Right.
So Jesse had a brilliant idea to bring on board arguably the most important genomics laboratory in the world, which
Right.
has Harvard to support them. They're called Colossus,
That's
no,
right.
Colossal, and they brought a hybrid direwolf
Yeah,
back
the
to
direwolf
life.
people. Okay.
Yeah,
Sure. Hmm.
so they're getting involved, but they can't get samples until the
No,
Peruvian Ministry of Culture gives them permission.
forget
And
that.
that's where the case is at right now. They're
Right.
asking permission to get those samples.
Oh, well, I think it's really fascinating. And so, have you Obviously, Peru's a long way from where you live, but it's closer than France. Have you got any intention of meeting these people? You speak to them regularly, or even go there?
I do talk to them regularly, to many of them.
Right.
Um, I speak to Thierry Jamin quite often.
Sure.
Um, he's the one from the Incari Institute. He's the one who actually made the discovery alongside the grave robber Mario.
Mario, yeah.
But I don't know if I want to go. I I want to go to Argentina, which is further south,
Yeah, sure.
because I want to speak to Dr. Piotti, because for me, his study of the mummies is the most interesting of anybody by far, because he's an anthropologist. He knows his stuff, and he's been researching these for a long time, and he has a very interesting theory called the guardian theory, where he says that there is some sort of a DNA modification in hominids throughout history that happens every 36,000 years or so.
Oh,
And when that happens, the next step in the evolution of this dominant species of hominids appears.
okay.
And there's like a dramatic sort of evolutionary change that hadn't been explained.
Right.
And
Right.
it's really difficult to explain. And he's studying that type of history, and he calls this whatever entity that modifies DNA in the hominid species, he calls it the anterior being, he calls it.
Okay, sure.
And I
Wow,
don't know
wow, yeah.
what that may be, but I think it's a very
No, I mean
interesting
it's a
thread to
bit. I
pull
mean,
from.
like, yeah. Initially, you go, I'm not sure what evidence we got for that, but that's the same with Stanley Ambrose's theory. I mean, when he first said massive human diversity prior to bottlenecks, people went, pull the other one, Stanley. And then it's true. He got the evidence. There was a volcano, it added up. We worked on this film where we discovered how all these rhinoceroses died, and they died 75,000 years ago, and they had genetic diversity. I mean, yeah, it suddenly a theory which is good but needs then experimental evidence all can come together. So
Yeah,
are there tridactyls anywhere else in the world? Do you
I
know?
don't think so. I don't think so. I think they were only found there.
Okay, sure.
Yeah.
You would think. I mean, my worry. It's a bit like the Loch Ness monster. You can't have one. You need a family of wee Nesses, or else it wouldn't
Yeah.
work, would it? I mean, so yeah. Hopefully, they thrived for a good long time. And it was my impression that the way that they're held and that they were found and that were kept, even that they were greatly revered or respected by the five-fingered people. Is that your
Yes.
impression?
Yes, by the Nazca people. Yeah.
Nazca people, right?
Yeah. Yeah,
And
they
then
were
also
sort
the
of
Nazca people
treated.
did illustrations, they did drawings
Yeah,
and things,
they
right?
were sort of treated like royalty in a sense.
Ah,
Yeah.
so I wonder if they had any other abilities. I mean, obviously they had they had the tridactyl nus and the strange shape, but I wonder if they had any other special. People went to them for healing, or they had other abilities that we've lost. Who knows? Wouldn't that be
Yeah,
interesting?
who knows?
Yeah, good.
Yep.
All right. Well, Pavel, thank you very much. I mean, I am scratching the surface, but I think it's a surface worth scratching with you. And let's see how this develops over the course of our career on YouTube. Long may it continue.
Yeah. Let's
And
see. Let's see
sure,
if the case moves forward. I will let
it
you
will.
know any updates that we get. Did you get access to Gonzalo's
Yeah,
Tridactyl
thank you very
Okay.
much. So Pavel blessed me by giving one of the scientists my name as a good reference, and he copied me in on the files, which include incredible photographs, and all the CT scans. you know, you have to be invited to see them, but I will very, very respectfully and carefully use them and credit them if I do go back to them in the future. So yeah, thank you, Pavel. That was great.
Awesome. Awesome.
Yeah.
That's great to hear.
All right. Well, keep up the good work generally on your channel. You seem to be doing a good daily response to interesting news, which we always have.
Yeah.
It's
Sometimes
working well.
sometimes I drop 2 videos per day.
2. Oh, you're
Yeah.
okay.
Yeah.
Sure. Yeah, you're probably a bit like me. I wake up in the morning and go, oh, and read the news and go, oh, that's a good story. Oh, that's a brilliant story. 2 a day is a lot. Well, yeah, include I see that great respect for your work and a lot of people watching it. So excellent. Keep up the good work. And it's always a
Thank you.
pleasure to
Likewise,
talk.
Simon.
Yeah,
You have
sure.
a
I mean,
huge channel.
yeah, it ups and downs, but there's so many great stories around right now. As I say, we live in interesting times. You know, we're right on the cusp of busting all the bollocks science that isn't admitting UAP, isn't accepting aliens here on Earth, isn't accepting visitors, and isn't accepting even that there's life elsewhere in the bloody universe, which there is. I mean, so it's about time that the science community actually, you know, had a rocket up its bottom and be told by people like you and me, you know, that things are real. So hopefully social media science is where we're at, mate. So thank you. Keep up the good work.
Thank you too, Simon. Have a great rest of your day.
Yeah, you and enjoy your 2 films for today.
I will.
Right. Bye. Bye-bye,
Thank you.
Pavel.
Have a good one. Bye.
Thank you. Bye.